Okay, so we're down 3 games to nothing. The Yankees bats picked the worst time ever to go cold, like ever. And whatever the reason is, whether it's the long break again for 3 series in a row or whatever the hell it is, the Yankees bats picked the worst time ever to go cold, and it's showing. It's showing, and they have a you know slim to zero chance of coming back to win this. You got to win 4 out of the next 5 in order to win the championship. That's it, right? So again, it's not over yet. It's not over yet, but it's close. So people already planning. No, Boone doesn't need to get fired. They were projected to be a fourth, fifth place team. Okay, it's not Boone's fault that the bats fell asleep when cold. Fire Boone is just a convenient excuse for so many people. It's not a Boone problem, right? But again, do you remember this team was projected to be a fourth, fifth place team, right? They're in the World Series. So they overshot the boundaries, right? So, which is good, but they have work that they need to do to beat the Dodgers. And I like the Verdugo home run there in the ninth inning. That was good, but I think priority number one obviously is Cole. Get Soto back here. Priority number 1B is probably make sure Cole get that squared away, whatever that happens there. And then you have to add to, and I'm going to go over this too. Like once the series is over, I'm already working on the offseason plan, but like there's some obvious things, right? We need to get maybe I noticed some folks saying we need to get power bats and so on, but we need bats that work counts. We need to get guys here that will actually work the count, right? If you look at the Dodgers pitching, every one of their pitchers has gone 5, 6 innings plus. We haven't gone beyond. I think we haven't had a pitcher go past 4. So that's a huge difference because it makes it easier for them to go full throttle with their bullpen because they're not jacking them up like we have been. So, do I think? Yeah, I do, John. But it's going to be a stressful time until that. Yeah. Most likely they're going to have to be the high bidder. Well, I think we kind of know that already. But bringing Soto back is not going to be enough, right? I mean, they have people to replace. They're going to replace Verdugo with Dominguez. Okay, it's going to be that'll help the payroll go down, but is he going to be an upgrade? We have no idea yet. Okay, if they replace Rizzo with, let's just say, Ben Rice, payroll is going to go down, but is that going to be an upgrade? We don't know yet. So, and I do think the wisest move to be to take Jazz and move him to second base and try to acquire a third baseman. Then we could fit at the 4 spot in between our 3 and 5 hitters, probably Judge and Stanton, right? So, and I think they're still going to go with Luis Hill. So as far as I know right now, again, the Dodgers are bullpenning tomorrow, so which puts them in a spot to win tomorrow's game, and then Cole will be game 5, puts them in a spot to make it 3-2. But we really needed to win this game, obviously, and we didn't. So which sucks, absolutely sucks. So yeah, I know, Brandon. I mean, I know the Dodgers are going to try to. Well, the Dodgers said they're going to enter this Juan Soto sweepstakes if he shows a willingness to go out west, which he hasn't done yet. So that makes sense. The Yankees are always linked to everybody. The Dodgers are always going to be linked to everybody too. And the Dodgers have depth beyond depth beyond depth beyond depth. So, and obviously, remember, they had Teoscar Hernandez going to be a free agent. So, are they going to bring him back? They love him. They're going to bring him back most likely. So, that I don't know where Soto's going to play there. It's just crazy. And I think Soto's just a better fit here than he would be in the Dodgers anyway. So, and again, yeah, the Dodgers bullpen is great, yeah, and our bullpen hasn't sucked either. Our bullpen's been pretty decent actually. Our starting pitching just hasn't given us any length at all when we needed them to give us length. We haven't gotten it. So, and obviously, and it's not only Judge now, it is Judge, but like most of the bats have gone cold in the World Series. at the worst freaking time. So that is a very frustrating proposition. It's a very frustrating situation to be in, and it sucks being down 3-0. It leaves hope, little hope for people to think the Yankees can come back because it's very, very unlikely. Okay, and CeeLo, I'm in my. So we have we're building a sun. This is a sunroom, and I have a mud room back there. Um, and right now we're having the doors painted, and so there's no doorknob on the thing except for the top. So there's a big hole in the door where cold air is coming in. That's why I have my hoodie on. That's why I have my hat on. So I'm in the room here, the sunroom. So with some cold air coming in here. Um, so that's where I'm at, CeeLo. Yeah. Yeah, I mean Schmidt couldn't get out of third. And it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just the offense. The offense was too much. The offense was too much. Okay. And yeah, I didn't really care for the Fat Joe performance, and I like Fat Joe too. Unfortunately, that sucks. But yeah, we're building a bunch of rooms, CeeLo. Adding 10 rooms to my house, so it's taking a little while. Taking a little while. But yeah, exactly, Ron. I mean, we hit at the right times against the Royals. We hit the right times against the Indians, the Guardians. Excuse me. Not really hitting at all here, with the exception of a little spot here, a little spot there. A little Soto, Stanton, Verdugo tonight, but you know, Judge doesn't hit. Generally, a lot of other guys don't hit either. So, and again, the offense has not picked up their pitching. So, and they got cold at the absolute worst time. Absolute worst time. So, um, yeah, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about Ben Grill. I don't know about firing Boone. This is not a Boone and Cashman problem. This is an offense problem. Okay, firing Boone and Cashman doesn't fix the offense. Yeah, Yankees did go for Jack Flaherty, but there was something that came up with medical, so they passed. And I saw recently that Will Warren was supposed to be part of the trade. Shout out to Jonathan for that intel, and it just didn't happen. So Luis Hill is supposed to start tomorrow, Rudy, against a bullpenning game from the Dodgers. That's what we're hearing. Brendan Donovan's a guy I've been trying to get for 2 years. Ethan, yeah, Brendan Donovan would be a nice option for third base. Pete who Alonso? I pass on Pete Alonso Kendrick. That's just me though. Yeah, Otani's not really hitting the cover off the ball either, but he has 10 other guys that are, and we don't. They have more. They have more depth. Ryan McMahon's another option. I wanted him. And then they told him that he wasn't getting traded at the deadline. So I don't know if that's going to change. They did announce about a week and a half ago that they were going to lower payroll next season. So maybe that motivates them to change that. So, but we'll see. All that's Boone. Fire Boone is not the answer. It's just it's just a weak talking point peddled by way too many people. Yeah. Well, that would be nice if we got that far, Rudy. Yeah. I'm gonna pound the freaking relievers tomorrow. Yeah. And we gotta stop letting. This is one of the problems too. This is why I said we need guys to work the counts because we can't keep letting their starters go this long in the games. We need our starters to go this long in games, but we can't keep letting their starters get going long in games. It's easier for them to use their bullpen if our offense doesn't hit anybody. And again, we have guys that they're not hitting off-speed pitches. Like the other day against Yamamoto, made him look like a world beater. So many of those off-speed pitches he threw were not strikes, and they were swinging at them instead of just waiting, making him readjust, make adjustments, and get the ball over the strike zone. Force him to throw the strikes. Creates more hitting opportunities. So he was looking at a lot realistic, but there were some prices were just way, and none of the big name players were traded. Realistic Yankee fan, none of the big names were traded. So it's not like Cashman. Those guys just weren't traded. No. Yeah, well, I know we got some bad calls, Udall. This is true. We got some bad calls tonight by umps, like some really shit strike calls tonight. High strikes and like I wasn't a fan of that umpire, that home umpire, but that doesn't you know um excuse our bats for not hitting. So yeah, Edmund was traded to the Dodgers. Good for Edmund. And replace him with who? All for a lot less. What does firing Boone do? Same weak talking points. Yeah, this is terrible terrible home plate umps for the World Series, but whatever. Yeah, Dodgers also don't have a payroll as high as the Yankees do either, so it was easy for them to make some moves. But maybe the Yankees will be more aggressive now. They realize they have to get more high end depth, like the Dodgers are doing. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they were just trying to generate a run, Conciliati. I'm guessing that's probably why they sent Stanton, but the chance of him scoring was pretty low. Well, exactly, Ken. It was very, very hard to get the man out. I mean, very, very hard for him to score. So Stanton is not that fast of a runner. So how would you rebuild realistic Yankee fan? Keep saying got to fire everybody. How would you rebuild? Yeah, it's crazy. Heck, the Yankees didn't really spend in free agency this year. Not that much. They most of their big moves came via trade. NFE. What's good, brother? It is a weak talking point, Josh Ricker. It's the same crap peddled by people who never propose better solutions, can't explain why. They use one move that everybody's talking about at the same time to justify the fire Boone. He's not responsible for the hitters not hitting. He's not up there with them. Okay, fire Boone is a cop out. It's an excuse. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to ask the third base coach that. I don't know. I don't know. Why keep Boone? Because he took him to the World Series. This is the first time he had a roster this good in his managing career here, and then he took him to the World Series. And this team has his back, and he has their back. So there's a lot. There's a lot of reasons to keep him. But I'm sure people are going to come up with reasons to fire him too. Oh, he went with Tim Hill instead of Nestor Cortez the one time. Game one was on everybody, Bonilla. The offense didn't hit. Judge struck out 3 times. They left 11 men on base. Judge struck out twice with the 2 men on. Nobody's saying that. It's just Boone because he went with Tim Hill. Okay. instead of Nestor Cortez, even though Nestor Cortez, the matchup favored Cortez against who? Otani. He got Otani out with one pitch. Okay. Otani also crushes off speed stuff. Hill throws a lot of off speed stuff. Okay. But either one of them had to face three consecutive guys because of the three batter minimum. You had to face Otani, then Betts, then Freeman. Unless you're prime Randy Johnson or prime Greg Maddux, neither one of those guys had a big advantage over those bats. So we got to stop with the game one's on Boone, let's fire him for that, and so on and so forth. Tim Hill was not going to mow through those guys. All right, well, Jonathan from the Sports Fan Fly, I'm going to make something like that. I mean, I've made something like that already. I know you're talking about realistic postseason. Yeah, yeah. The bats went cold in the postseason. This cold postseason, they made it this far. Okay, they weren't even expected to go to the postseason. Realistic, Yankee fan. Are you actually being realistic? Why do you call yourself a realistic fan? Say whatever you want to say at some point. Go ahead. A lot of people say it. Whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. They lost. They looked. Mayor. They looked. Verdugo was the only guy to hit the ball, so they didn't look great. Yeah, Yankees got swept in the World Series. Red machine. Yep. I don't think anybody was going to beat that red machine. Mark, it's not his job to make the adjustments. It's the player's job. This is their job. He puts them in a situation. What adjustments did he have to make, Mark Watson? Please explain. Tell us what adjustments and why. We keep hearing this from channels and beat writers, but nobody explains the adjustments and what he had to do and why. This is a talking point unless you can explain it. So please, the floor is yours. Enlighten us. I welcome good content here, good answers. Oh, Linda, come on, stop with the name calling, please. That's for other channels. No, the fans is not talking about how bad the offense has been. It's the because they get the fire Boone from these other channels. Whatever you say, Jason Carl. Game one's on Boone. Okay, whatever you say. Yeah, Freeman is red hot. He's crushing people. Yep. And Judge is he's been dismal this postseason. What are you gonna say? That's not Boone's fault. That's not Cashman's fault. That's Judge's fault. This is his job. He gets paid $40 million a year. So he needs to figure something out. And yeah, and see, Nestor looked better today. Yes, he did. Screwball, that's not enough explanation. Doesn't matter if he's a reliever or he's a starter. Tim Hill's not going to mow through those three guys, three consecutive MVPs. There was no guarantee he was going to do that. Zero. So if you go with the matchup, that's what you do. I mean, speaking as a former baseball player, that's what coaches do. They go with the matchups. They won't always work, but that's generally what they do. Same thing, Hector. Yeah, let the Jones and Dominguez duke it out for left. I mean, Corbin Burns would be a huge add especially if they bring Garrett Cole back and you add Burns to Cole. They need another guy who can throw innings consistently, 5, 6, 7 innings, no doubt about it, and make it easier on the bullpen, just like the Dodgers are doing. I think we can all agree on that. That's true. Well, exactly. This is what they do, and they get it from one or two other channels who trash Boone every day. Don't bring any other constructive criticism. They bring zero value. All they do is trash Boone, scapegoat, the worst ever, this, that, and blah, blah, blah. It's the same old talking points. When I ask people to please elaborate, what adjustments? I get nothing. I get crickets. Why? If it's that easy, why can't anybody explain it with specifics? What would you have done differently, Joshua? Has not had, being off for a week doesn't help. They practice every day. So how would he prepare differently, Joshua? When you said he hasn't had them prepared, what what do you know that he hasn't done that he should have done? That's a question I would like. I'd love an answer for. Yeah, let's behave, people. Let's show it the dirty. Let's show it the curse words, please. Let's be respectful for everybody else that's in here. What should we do about first base? I mean, I you have to decide whether they're going to give. I don't think they should. Well, I don't think they will exercise Anthony Rizzo's option of 17 million. I think they're going to give him a $6 million buyout. Um, and then I don't know if it's going to be Ben Rice or someone else. I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, that's one of the questions they have to answer this offseason. No. And replace him with who? Jason Carl. Fireboone is a terrible coach. Okay, 10th in baseball history in winning percentage, and he had them in the World Series this year, but he's terrible, and his players love him. So replace him with who? Who's the better option that we know is available and that's interested? Don't apologize, Mr. O'Brien. I want people to. So you have sometimes have some kids and you just want to be mindful. That's all. Leiter looked. I mean, he wasn't in it for long, but he looked solid. Maynard, he looked solid. Anthony, the lineup is not grooving right now, and it's not. Boone is the easy scapegoat. I honestly, Screwball. I hope he makes some slight changes to the lineup. I do, but we'll see. I don't understand the intentional walk to bets either. I don't get it. Don't know. Hmm. Yeah, you try to change. I mean, and Trevino threw out somebody. I don't know, maybe Kike. I don't remember who he threw out second. He threw somebody out at second though. I don't remember who it was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not a. Lighter looked pretty decent today, CeeLo. Schmidt did not look that great. Jason Carl, I used to play baseball competitively at a high level, almost semi-pro. The players make the adjustments, not the coaches. Okay. Now I know what I'm talking about, Jason. Okay. It's the player's job to make the adjustments. Coaches communicate them to the players, but the players have to make the adjustments. That's what I'm talking about. Putting Cabrera, well, Verdugo went deep today, so um, you know, Gabe O'Neill, it's a good question. For experience, just like they have, what's his name here? Caleb Durbin. Getting experience, just being around the environment. That's what they did with Jeter and Posada when they first came up in '95 when they were in that playoffs with the Seattle Mariners. They had Posada and Jeter sitting around watching, taking in the environment. Yeah, our bullpen's been pretty solid. Yeah, I agree, CeeLo. Yeah. Our starting pitching is definitely not giving the length that we need. That's for sure. Contact. We need guys that can work. They need to work counts. We need one or two of those bats to work counts. And there's some people saying we need a lot of power. Well, we need Judge to utilize his power, in a more contact oriented way. We need some guys that work counts and get on base. Like, got to create more run manufacturing opportunities. We don't need any more homers or strikeout guys. Tomorrow's a bullpen day. Yeah, Joe. That's right. Well, enlighten us, Jason Carl. You forgot more about the game. Explain what I said to you. Break it down for us. I went to the Bucky Dent baseball school. I was at the pro scouting combine too, with Bucky Dent, with some of the professional ball players. Mark Rulizanic was there. Mike Piazza was there. I faced Mark Pryor, who's now the pitching coach for the Dodgers. When he was drafted, I was at the scouting combine. Okay. Yes, they do, Coach Carl. Yes, they do. A guy that can work the count, right? We have far and I said this the other night against Yamamoto. Like, he was at 20 something pitches after the first inning, and then they stopped working the count. Why? You could have had him out way the heck earlier, but they didn't do that. Swinging at all these off speed pitches that weren't strikes, making him look like he's Sandy Koufax. It's a shame. That's whose job, realistic. Well, pitching Weaver one of the problems with that, Hector, is you're going to play 3 consecutive games, and you need him, his arm live for all 3 games. That's most likely why they're not doing it. Jeter blatantly said it's Boone's fault. Also, really? Okay, that solves everything. I'm gonna look that up and see. Yeah, I want to hear him say it myself. Decision to pull Cole. Well, Cole's getting in trouble the other day, Clemenza. I think that's why they pulled him in 88 pitches. I mean, you want to ride your horse, but when your horse gets in trouble, like, I understand the logic pulling him out. So, people can question that move too. I understand that. Johnny Cage, what other Yankees channel were you in? Frank Strange, I think Soto re-signs with the Yankees, not the Mets or the Dodgers. Mets and the Dodgers will be used for leverage to drive up the price. Why would he go to the Mets? Well, exactly. Exactly, Buckeye. I mean, they got their bats got cold at the absolute worst time, and then you can't get cold against this freaking offense. You can't do it. And what did Jeter say, Randall, about Blaine, about Boone, and Jeter having never managed either? So what did he say? Yeah, he had 88 pitches there, Ken. That's right. Bats were kind of awake in game one. This is true, Joe. Well, this is what I mean. World Series has a lot to do with momentum shifting, and so on. So, at this point, it's all hands on deck right now. So, I don't know. I keep asking what Jeter called Boone out about. Jason, Carl, you're in the wrong place, dude. You're not ready for this, man. How long have you been watching sports? It all starts with the coach. I keep asking you to answer one question. You keep pivoting. Why is that? Why can't you answer it? Why can't you enlighten me what I asked you to enlighten me about? You think I'm gonna let you off the hook? Mm. These guys are paid millions of dollars to do a job. This isn't high school baseball where coaches are generally babysitters. This is a different environment. Pro ball is a different environment. It's treated differently, significantly differently. Yeah, damn right, Buckeye. I'm riding with the Yankees no matter what. I told you, Frank. Yankees. I think he resigns with the Yankees. Juan Soto. But it does suck losing these games, Buckeye. I can't, it's really hard to deny that. It's really hard to deny it. Carl, Jason, I'm not gonna ask you one more time, dude. Don't bring mothers in. Chill with that. There's another channel for that immature alpha male, phony alpha male garbage. Okay, this ain't it, Jason. Carl, leave that out of here. I'll go bring it to the Real Talk channel. Well, we do, Seal. We just spend differently. I mean, we're over the Cohen threshold. We have the highest payroll in the game, so we still spend. Yeah, we do. Well, that's why, yeah, in the 2019, they also had the core four. Their coconuts. They had that was a special team. That was a special team. We had the core four there. I mean, Girardi inherited one of the best teams ever. So Boone and Cashman aren't the problem here, Randall. They're in the World Series. Are they the reason the bats got cold? No. Boone and Cashman's just the easy scapegoat excuse. Dude. I keep asking you. I explained something to you. I asked you to enlighten us. You still haven't done that yet. You're still trying to pivot. Answer the question I asked you. Man up, dude. Let's see what you know. Come on. I've given you the floor multiple times now. Why are you not answering it? Yankees in 7 would be crazy, wouldn't it? We don't know what Plan B is yet, Frank. We don't know yet. Exactly, Brandon. You make claims. You got to back it up with facts. I know, Celia. I know how long we're watching sports. Yeah. Yet he can't answer a simple question. Yeah. Well, exactly, David. Bueller was okay. The Yankees bats stunk. David, the Yankees look cooked. I'm not waving the white flag just yet. So, but I've already, started planning for the 2025 offseason. So, who's the prospect? Realistic Yankee fan. You see, keep saying trade the prospect in the offseason. What that the Dodgers and look them now. What are you talking about? What prospect? I'm gonna do a whole video on that, John. I'm gonna do my free agent predictions and my Yankee offseason. There's gonna be um, quite a few videos on it. And you can prove this how, Siciliana? Tough love. You can prove this how? I know this is a talking point peddled by one particular channel on a regular basis. They can't prove it either. So I'm asking you if you wouldn't mind proving it to us, Siciliano. Tough love. These guys are adults, okay, professional athletes. It's a different story, different environment. Oh yeah, Steven, what tells you that? Because WFAN says it 10 times a day? Why would he go to the Mets? Thank you, Ken. Coaches and players communicate adjustments. It's up to the players to actually make them. Right? Thank you. At the end of the day, it's your job as a scholarship player, right? To keep your scholarship, to earn your scholarship, whatever you want to call it, especially at Division One. These people threaten scholarships all the time, not only academically, but performance-wise too. Uh, do I think the Yankees re-sign Verdugo or Tyler O'Neill? No. If Soto leaves, no. I don't think they're gonna shoot their sights higher than that. Even though Tyler O'Neill wouldn't be that bad, but Soto's batting over 300 in this postseason. Thankfully, thankfully. Oh, Jason Call, you should go to the. You should go. You're out of here, homie. Go to the U. Go to the Real Talk channel, where being a dick is welcome. Peace. He's out of here. Can't be respectful. Yeah, Dodgers pitching have performed better than Yankees pitching. Starters. Birdie was taken off, Linda. He kind of hip flexor strain, so he was taken off the World Series roster. So Birdie was on it, but he's off it. But Cabrera's there. He's in the dugout. Yeah, Brandon Moore. Jason Carl got blocked now because he was being a hole. Several people. Go get Manscaped at the other place. So we don't know yet, Frank Strange. You keep asking that. We don't know yet. What plan B is. We'll have to wait and see. I don't even know if they're gonna plan uh what do you call it? You know, he got blocked, Buckeye. Am I behind in the comments here? Oh my god. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Dodgers have depth beyond depth, beyond depth, beyond depth. So um if the Dodgers sweep, then Freeman will probably be the I would agree the MVP. Yep. Well, exactly too, Ron. Yankees bullpen is not losing this series. The bats are. The Mets need to re-sign Pete Alonso first, and they need pitching more than they need hitting. They need to sign Corbin Burns instead of um, what do you call it? Instead of Juan Soto. The Mets. Tommy Kahnle is a free agent. Yes. Tim Hill is also a free agent. I'm gonna go over all this stuff. So I'm gonna go over all this stuff. Yep. Pasty, Facilo. Yeah. Well, exactly. It's who gets hot at the right time. The Yankees got cold at the worst time ever. Can't deny that. They just did. I'm not sure if any coaches are going to go wink. I'm really not sure. Brandon Moore is not being disrespectful to people. But Brandon, cool off, dude. Let's cool. Let's be cool, please. Who are you going to replace Boone with, Boone? That could automatically come in and take them to the promised land. Yeah, and Fat Joe wasn't even that great. I like Fat Joe too. Could you imagine that? Oh my god. Ken, I would love if that happened. Absolutely love it. I can see them signing Tim Hill, but not Tommy Kahnle, especially since they just signed that pitcher that I put out the video about yesterday. It's a hard throwing righty who's younger than Kahnle. So you got that right, Buckeye. Our hitting is gone. It's gone non-existent in the world, almost in the World Series, with the exception of tonight Verdugo and Soto's home run and Stan's home run. Aside from that, and that's not a good enough answer. Anybody but Boone. Specifics, please. I ask people all the time. I get crickets. People keep saying fire Boone, fire. Replace him with who and why? I proposed that last year too in Cortez for Brandon Donovan. I would expand the trade and try to get Brandon Donovan and Ryan Helsley for the bullpen. I would try to get both in a trade, and I would offer him Cortez and a prospect or something like that. I don't see Gleaver coming back. Wink. I see him getting a QO, but I don't see him coming back. James, with the talking points. You want to keep Boone. Why can't anybody give me a good answer on who to replace Boone with and why? I ask all the time. People, I get the answers. You want Boone, keep losing, enjoy losing. Like, who guarantees them to win the World Series? Who? I hear you, Consigliere. I want to wrap it up in a little bit too. I understand people are frustrated. I get that. We're all frustrated. Steven, I said he's probably going to come close to matching what Otani got. I said it from the beginning. People thought I was crazy. Walking bets ruin the series, really? So if Tim Hill was in there and instead of Cortez, and he walked Betts and still gave up the home run to Freeman, would you blame Boone for that too? The chances of us are slim to none now for us winning the World Series. So that sucks to say, but it's true. Would I love him to come back and win in seven? Hell yeah. Would it be the comeback of all time? Yeah, I would. But I'm not banking on it. Watani's contract did get deferred. So Soto's not going to get a deferred contract. Yeah. Yeah, I keep asking all the time, Ron. Who's the obvious replacement for Boone? Edmund, I don't know if he's a free agent or not. I'm not sure. I don't have my phone on me. Who are your suggestions, Bonia? Who? Donnie Baseball is employed by the Blue Jays, unfortunately, Ken. Unfortunately, he's employed by the Blue Jays. I can't see them giving him up either, especially not the Yankees. The Blue Jays would probably want something for it. Johnny K, there's not a chance in the world Soto doesn't make more than Judge. Judge knows that too. And Yamamoto did not deserve to make more than Cole. And Soto versus Judge is a different story. Yeah, Babe Ruth. Well, exactly, Buckeye. And the players have Boone's back. So, you know, that's one reason they fired Joe Girardi because he wore out his welcome. And after that World Series that they won in 2009, when he inherited one of the greatest teams ever, he didn't win any after that. Nothing. Zero. They even missed the playoffs a few times. Yeah, Ken, you said Donnie Baseball, but I think he's employed by the Blue Jays. It's an intriguing option, but I can't see the Blue Jays letting him go. Not to the Yankees. I can't. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. Who, Jonathan? Who's the name? This thing is scrolling pretty fast. So if I'm missing it, I'm missing it. So my apologies if I'm missing it. Tough manager like Joe Girardi. He got fired for being abrasive with the media. He got fired for wearing out his welcome. And what do you mean tough? You have to look manly and tough? What made him so tough? What did he do? What made him so tough? People keep saying tough. What do you mean? I mean, it's an intriguing one too, Daniel. Showalter would never be a yes man for Hallinan or for Cashman or whatever, as he would be probably be expected to be. So he would buck the trend a lot, and can't blame him. He's got all kinds of experience, and yeah, you'd have to give him a little bit of leeway there. Um, like Bill, yeah, exactly. Some of the folks keep saying tough. Like who? What does that mean? Tough. Loud doesn't mean it. Loud doesn't make you tough. It just makes you loud. If you don't inspire people, then you're just going to be a loudmouth and obnoxious. If you're going to be loud, you're going to inspire people like Vince Lombardi did. That's the way it works in sports, pro sports. You're going to be loud. You better bring results. You better be able to back it up. Buck Showalter is an intriguing option, but I can't see him um, taking a position here. Yeah, Billy Martin. Billy Martin was like 110 pounds, but if he felt like you're getting hit by Mike Tyson. Yeah. Well, I don't mind getting rid of some front office people. I'm cool with that, Ray. I'm cool with that. Yeah, Bauer is old news. In all honesty, Neil, he's old news. Yeah, probably he opts out, but he'll get his. They'll just sweeten. They can void his opt out by adding another year to the deal, which he'll get another $36 million. So, well, this is true too, Clemenza. He did nothing after he left the Yankees. Did nothing with the Phillies. Another tough environment. So he inherited a legendary Yankees team in 2009. Boone never inherited a roster that good, ever. I mean, there's a chance, Frank, that they can sign Soto and Burns. Just going to cost a lot of money. Get some rest, Clemenza. Yeah, I know. I know. We'll see. We'll see how we feel tomorrow night. I don't think. I think. See, honestly, I think Jeter's more of an owner. I think he can thrive as an owner. Maybe even a GM, but I can't see him managing. I mean, Cohn might be an intriguing option as pitching coach, but I think Jeter's calling as an owner. Yeah, I mean, put Boone has to play the players that are given to him, so he's limited to he's the low man on the totem pole when it comes to being able to do anything. He's not the guy that sends up and calls down athletes either. Brings up and sends down athletes. I mean, GM does that. That's why it's hard to find. It's hard to find a right manager for the Yankees. It's really hard. Wink, honestly, I don't think Pete Alonso's the right fit here. I would look at. I mean, I would not hesitate looking at Christian Walker from the Diamondbacks. Walker Bueller. I don't know. I mean, if Jack Flaherty's healthy, they may go after him. I'm really curious to see who gets a qualifying offer and who doesn't get a qualifying offer. Jack Flaherty is not eligible for a qualifying offer. Neither is Tanner Scott, which is why I think those are two guys the Yankees might be in on. Yeah, yeah. Boston did sign. They hired Dylan Lawson to be assistant hitting coach over there. Dusty Baker, imagine that. Yankees need a guy. Yeah, lefty at bat. I agree. They need a guy who can work the count. I don't know. I know Brendan Dunneman's got one more year left on his deal. I don't know about Tommy Edman. Can anybody check and see if Tommy Edman's going to be a free agent? Because he's versatile too. I just don't know if he's. I know Brendan Dunneman's got one more year left on his deal. So no, was not. Was not Pasty. Game 4 is not canceled. Game 4 is tomorrow. Yeah, Glasnow and Otani pitching next year. And I don't really see them picking up Soto, that brother Bill. I can't see that, in all honesty. But I can see them using it for leveraging the Yankees. Edmonds got one more year, so Brendan Dunneman's probably the. I mean, I think he's gettable from the Cardinals. I would move Jazz to second, and I would try Brendan Dunneman for third base. But Willie Adames and my worry about those two guys right there, Ken, is Willie Adames. I see him getting like 25 million a year. I see both of them getting about 25 million a year. Willie Adames maybe 6 years, a buck 50, maybe Santander maybe 7 years, a buck 75. I could see the Mets signing Santander or the Phillies. Yeah, the Phillies are trying to trade Nick Castellanos. If they trade him, I think they'll be all over Santander. Adames would be an interesting one if they can get him for third base. But I think he's going to cost. I think he's going to get a 5 or 6 year deal. I don't know if they want to do that because um, they still have George Lombard and Arias guys that are developing, and he would block them. Season's not over yet, Bonilla. Season's not over until the last out is made. I'm gonna pass on Kershaw. Guy can't stay healthy. Yeah, I would pass on him. I think Max Fried's gonna come out west because he's from the West Coast. Flaherty would be an interesting one. I can see Spencer Jones making a case. I think he should be competing versus Dominguez, competing with Dominguez for the spot. Yeah, I saw that too, Buckeye. He was like holding it up here. I don't know if they told him to do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he still had some pain. I mean, that's subluxation is essentially is a partial dislocation of the shoulder, so it's not a full dislocation, but it's partial, and that's generally not an overnight. You could see he wasn't hitting with the same authority he was hitting with in the other games. So yeah, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the people who come only when they lose will come also when they win. So Dustin May, is he going to be a free agent, Linda? Or does he still have more RBers? I know he's been recently. Um, well, he's in subluxation. He had a shoulder, so I was like, right. I think it was right here. So the indentation of the external rotation of the shoulder, of the internal rotation of the shoulder. So we're close, Buckeye, not far. I know we only have 53 likes. So that's it happens. People generally, we always get more connections here. We always get more people in here when we win. So I'm fine with trending Brendan Donovan. They want Cortez and Warren. They can have it. If we can get Brendan Donovan on. Brendan Donovan's only 27 years old too. I would take him. He's like another version of Tommy Edman. Yeah, I said Dustin May's been like he's had years worth of injuries. So yeah. All right, Jonathan, get some rest, my man. And I'll wrap this up too, gang. Yeah, the Cardinals got a good squad. I mean, they can afford to trade somebody like um a Brendan Donovan to get an arm like a Nestor Cortez. So they can use another arm. Nuke bar, I mean, nuke bar. I don't know if we'd be able to get a nuke bar, but that'd be an interesting one. Well, exactly, Chip, too. We're spoiled like crazy in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and the early 2000s, too. Yeah. And since then, the game has changed. Yankees pay $150 million a year now in revenue sharing, and other teams are not required to spend it on players. So it's just ridiculous. It is a tough series, Buckeye. You know that. But we're always leaning on each other here, Buckeye. We got each other's back no matter what. We'll be here either way. You know that, Buckeye. Yeah. Have a great night too, CeeLo. Always appreciate you coming on too. Red Sheep partner. Manet is an interesting one, Ken. Yeah. I have a feeling he's going to cost probably, I'm going to say between $16 and $20 million a year. I'm guessing. What do you think he's going to cost, Ken? Probably for 2 or 3 years. Well, we have more prospects to trade now, so we could trade. We have about 100 infield prospects that we can trade for another player or pitching or something. Oh, that brother Bill, like him. Yeah, I mean, I credited them earlier. Their starters have given us length, given we give them length, and our starters are really not. So it makes it easy for them to use their bullpen to attack the hell out of us, and that's exactly what they've been doing. So it's well done for them. Well done for them. I think it's too early right now, Bonega. It's too early to define his legacy. And Clayton Kershaw was for the first decade of his career, he was terrible in the postseason, and all of a sudden he turned into pretty good. So, and people made that just it just went away. People forgot about that. So, it's still yet to be determined, judge, but he's got to show up a little more in the postseason. That's for sure. But right now, you know, right now he's just on pace to hit 500 home runs with the Yankees and blah blah blah. But he doesn't have that championship legacy yet, and that he needs that. Hmm. Walker was kind of no hitting us. I think so too, Ken. I think he's going to probably get like 3 years, right around 48 to 51 million or something like that. I think. Um, I could see him getting that too because he would be, it's either him or spend $100 million on Max Fried. So um, it's guys like that Mets loaded up on that Yankees can load up on these 2 or 3, 2 year deals, 3 year deals, or a 2 year deal and an option for the second year, something like that. No, we already know McMahon. He's not happy. He's openly said he's not happy about his performance. So. Their bats went cold at the worst time possible, Bronya. That happens. That happens. Unfortunately, it's part of the game. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is good when we push each other. It's good. Sometimes when people have to be a-holes, they got to get booted. So I appreciate you continuing to push and continuing to bring value to the conversation. McMahon is a guy that if you're talking about Ryan McMahon, he's the guy that I wanted last year at the trade deadline for third base. And I think he would have been the perfect fit here, third base. Huh. Who told you Soto won't be back, Mark Knight? Where's he going to go? Linda, have a great night. Yeah, Wank, it's still, it's almost, it's close, but it's not over yet. So, not over yet. But I know it feels like it is. Because they gain these talking points from a couple of beat writers, WFAN people, these Mets trolls, Mets channels, and they have people over there wearing Soto jerseys they had made. Like, it's just ridiculous. The Dodgers are interested in Soto too, Mark. That doesn't mean he's going to go there. Doesn't mean he wants to go there. Yeah, and he hasn't shown interest in going west either. He wanted to come back east. So Ryan McMahon, I thought would be a perfect fit here, but he's going to cost quite a bit. Brandon Donovan won't cost as much. Hmm. Either one is a better option than Luis Rengifo and these other guys. So. No, it's not the worst World Series. They were swept by the Big Red Machine in 1976, Mark. So, but it sucks when your bats go cold at the worst time ever, which is the World Series, because there's no rounds after that. So, mhm. Well, it is easy to pitch around Soto. You just walk Soto, knowing that Judge won't drive him in, which is why I proposed a couple days ago moving Stanton to the 3 and moving Judge down to the 5. I'd rather have the more productive bat, which is Stanton behind Judge, creating more run opportunities, run driving, manufacturing opportunities. But I wish they would have done that. But oh well, I'm not the manager of the Yankees, so they don't pay me the big bucks. But at this point, you make any adjustments you need to make in the World Series. You know, yeah, I totally can. Yeah, I totally get that, Buckeye. Silence is golden. Yes, sir, it is. Mm, I doubt it, Harold. I doubt Soto goes to the Dodgers. And who's gonna replace Boone, Mark Knight? Oh, nice, Buckeye. Game 2 to 76. Nice. That big red machine must have been something to watch. My goodness. Hill is pitching tomorrow. Brother Bill. Hill against a bullpen game for the Dodgers. So, Brand, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure having you on too. Have a great night. Boshi's not, he's managing right now. He's not a free agent. Okay, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, there's a lot of Yankee haters everywhere. They have nothing better to do with their time, They really don't. Have a great night too, McMahon. Is he interested as a coach? We don't know. No idea. And coach where? Like, where would he coach? Have a great night, McMahon. Appreciate you guys for all, you know, keep bringing, keep bringing feedback. So I appreciate it. There's no way Girardi's coming back. He wore out his welcome last time. He didn't do anything in Philly. So Mattingly is employed by the Blue Jays. So John Flaherty hasn't even coached yet. You want to make him a manager? Why? What's the reason why? He did it, Billy Martin. After that brother Bill. What cupcake era? Realistic. What are you talking about? What does that mean? Please enlighten me. I met Girardi too. He's a good dude. I met him. I met him and O'Neill the same night. Luis So, I don't know. No idea. Yeah, that's a good point, Billy. Good point, Clemenza. Realistic. What do you mean by cupcake era? Nice to be player. Well, who's we? First of all, have to be nice to the players when they're struggling. Who's we? You know what I like realistic? I don't like, but I find it comical. Like we have so many channels, YouTube channels that talk so tough and trash players and coaches. Yet they'll never do it to their faces, but they do it on here. They do it on Twitter, so or Discord or whatever, right? And they did. They're over here pointing themselves off as alpha males, saying how big of a pussies these players are, and so on and so forth. But none of these guys can do these things themselves, and not one of these guys would tell them one of these players to their faces. They need 100 friends with them to tell them. That's the very definition of soft and pussy and weak to me. Realistic. So is that what you mean? I'm not saying you, but I know there are channels that do it, and I know these dudes will not tell any of these guys to their faces. Reggie Jackson, nice man, nice, nice Ken. Everybody knows pressure is on in New York, but what does it have to do with social media? Tough guys, you got to act hard behind a screen. There's a couple of channels that trash them on a regular basis. Realistic. I don't need call in here. It's a waste of time and they're not worth mentioning. So softball bootlicking questions like what, Mark? Oh, I don't think I don't have any problem with booing Mark. Where I take issue is trashing them on social media, trashing their family, like they did with Carlos Rodon, right? I mean, you remember Cliff Lee? The reason why he didn't sign here and went to the Phillies instead is because the fans were assholes to his wife. Yeah, he got blocked by Judge Wall. We don't know if Judge handles that himself or has people to handle it, but is it necessary to be an asshole to him on Twitter? Calling him out on his postseason stats. Well, like, what do you expect to accomplish with that? Realistic, just out of curiosity. Like, there are people who are flat out a holes to him on social media. Why would he not block that? Why I block people here are a holes to people on the channel. People do go after. I'm not saying you do realistic, but there are people who do that, and that's beyond weak. You have to attack family. You got to attack women on here with Discord. You got to create communities to attack women and gays. That's the very definition of weak ass. Yeah, and he knows he's not. He knows he's not good in the postseason. What does he need? 10,000 people to remind him of it? That's my question. And what I mean, do you think he's going to sit there and look at all that? Probably not. Yeah, I understand $360 million, but uh, like I tell people, they think it's that easy. Why don't they should apply for the jobs themselves? They should try out for the team. I guess if it's that easy. Well, he's not intentionally putting bad stats in the playoffs. He's not intentionally doing it. My question is, I'm not saying you realistic, but why do fans feel the need to attack him instead of supporting the guy and helping him get through it? Is my question. Why do people feel the need? Because that to me, and again, I say this a lot. The definition of strength is not who you beat down; it's who you help lift up. It's who you elevate. Right? And people feel the need to trash people when they're down. Why? And I know none of these dudes would tell this guy to his face. Not one. Not a single one. Well, tell him that, Mark. Yeah, I understand you have a voice. Realistically, nobody's saying you don't have a voice. That's why I don't block people that have differing opinions. People are welcome to have that, but and keep in mind, people use this argument all the time. We spend our hard-earned money voluntarily. We do. Well, none of us are forced to spend our money. We do it by choice. So that's something that's important to remember that it's all voluntary. But my question is for so many people. Yes, we have a voice. You're right, but why use the voice to be an asshole? Why not? Why not try to help the man? That's my. And people hate when I call it out, but I call it out. I don't care who doesn't likes it or not. Like, why is it so necessary to be an asshole with the voice and not bring something productive? Well, this is true too, Clemenza. You're absolutely right. Social media. This is why you have people that create communities on Discord to harass people. This is why we don't do politics on this channel. There are other baseball channels who do politics, right? So I understand what you're saying, realistic, but do you think it's that easy? It's not. It's not that easy. And I understand people want to boo him, which is fine. But trashing him on social media, and trashing him on do you actually think? I mean, why would he? Why would he? Anybody listen to that? Why would anybody read it? I don't know. Somebody should ask him that. Cowboy, exactly, Clemenza. I think Cowboy's a good example too. hmm Yeah, George is very hard on himself. He think he must. Yeah, I mean, he knows. He knows that fans are frustrated and pissed and blah blah blah. But again, why would he listen to? Why would somebody say, "Oh, read these asshole comments," right? Instead of ones that were productive. I mean, you can be critical, be productive with it. But why do so many people feel the need to be such a dick? Right? Exactly, Buckeye, 100%. One of the hardest things to do in all sports to hit a square ball, hit a round ball, or a square bat. Yes, it is. We're round bat squarely. Yep. The truth hurts. Yeah, and the truth is, I'm from New York, dude. I understand. Okay, New York City. Okay, understand that. But I'm also part of a community, and I'm also a longtime martial artist. Right, and it's one of the things you learn is you don't have to be a dick. You can criticize privately and praise publicly and so on. You don't being a dick doesn't elevate people. It makes you look like a dick. Okay? People like to call that real talk and all this baloney, right? I love when people say that. It's just yeah, she should sit down and take it. Like if you were there, you had 10,000 people calling you a dick, you suck, and blah blah blah. You see how you'd like it. People doing it every day, and this is the thing. People can't relate to it. I was there for the three-peat, and I was there in 2009 too. So do I want more? Yeah, but I understand that it's not that easy. I play ball too. It's just not the way that it is. It's the reality. And the reality is, you know, We've seen success, yeah. World Series championship is not the only way you can define success, too. So, and the game is different than it was 15 years ago. It's not as easy as you think to get that far. Yeah, I know how frustrating it is, but that doesn't mean I would never be a dick and trash players. What good is that going to do? Yeah, yeah. Praise publicly, you chastise or criticize privately. Yeah, military, you learn it at buds, you learn it, you learn it everywhere. You elevate people because they're going to go through adversity. You're going to elevate them in small groups and elevate them in large groups. They're going to need to lean on each other to get through shit. Apply for the job. Realistic. If you need some change, apply for the job. I tell people all the time, man, apply for the job. I understand the frustrations, and again, I'm not going to block people for having a different opinion or being frustrated. That's not fair. I'm not going to deny people of their voice. That's what makes this community great. Yeah, it will be scary, but at the end of the day, unless you say Juan Soto signs elsewhere, and they ask him, "Why'd you leave?" and they said, "Well, the fans were assholes to Judge and everybody else, and I didn't want them to be that way with me, and so on and so." What if he actually said that? I want them to be assholes with me and my family, and so on. You know, just out of curiosity, because that's why, again, like I said, that's why Cliff Lee didn't sign here because fans harassed his wife in the stadium, right? Yeah, would I like Judge to be better in the postseason? Sure. Would I appreciate what he does now? Yeah. But he carries himself like a damn pro. Just like Stanton, he takes it on the chin when he's bad, right? All the time. And he shows up every day. Shows up every day. Same here, Ken. I don't have enough credentials to be in the front office either. So, well, I'm not calling you a dick to Judge. I'm saying in general, the fact that people feel the need to be a dick to him because he's not performing in the playoffs is like you have all these people pointing themselves off as alpha males, saying, "I'm tough. You need to be tough." Yet they need to trash him behind the screen and all this stuff. Like it's the complete opposite of tough. And again, when is being a dick to people going to be productive? When are people going to listen to you? I'll just ignore you if you're a dick. Just ignore you. Shut you out. You know? But again, I'm not saying you being a dick to me. I don't know what you said on social media, whatever you did. I don't know. But I know a lot of other people have. I've seen it. Yeah, I understand the logic, Mark, of sending Stanton because they wanted to try to generate a run. They wanted to try to light a spark somewhere, but it didn't work. So, yeah. Yeah, let's just. I mean, yeah, we've been through it all year, right, Buckeye? You know, other channels can trash them all they want. We don't do it here. It's just not what we do. We can't. Uh, but I'm not stopping people from going to other channels. They can do that all they want. Yeah, Yankees need to make. You have to get very specific. Make very specific additions this offseason, Bonia. Very specific. Yeah, well, I mean, he knows it too, Mark. That it's unacceptable. He knows it. Yep. Let's see here. I mean, outfield defense is better than the infield defense. That's for sure. What makes Stanton our true captain? Realistic. Mm. It's not only what you play; it's also how your impact to the team. Judge is very good with the young guys. He's very well respected in the clubhouse. That's one reason why he's captain. You know, I do, Mark. I think Glaber's gone. I think Rizzo's gone. I think Verdugo's gone. I think Clay Holmes is gone. I, Ken, you and me both, my man. You and me both. Yeah, Jays want Soto. I spoke to Jim at Ballcap Sports about that too. So they're apparently an option, but I don't know. And accountability. I mean, what kind of accountability you want? He's bench players. You have guys that one of the biggest modicums of accountability right now is these guys are. Glaber Torres has cost himself $100 million in free agency. Clay Holmes probably 50. Verdugo probably 50. All these guys have cost themselves a boatload of money. There's no bigger level of accountability than that. These guys almost sabotage their free agent payday. You expect them to trash these guys on TV in front of everybody? Because that's not going to happen. They don't really do that, managers, and there's no need to do it either. Like we keep saying, I keep saying accountability, accountability, accountability. What specifically? What do you want them to do? I don't think Holmes will be back. Realistic. I think he. Don't be surprised if he goes to the Royals. He kind of fits their spending pattern, fits their need for the bullpen. Hmm. Yeah, the owner of the Blue Jays is super rich, but it doesn't mean. Yeah, yeah. Different philosophies is cool. I respect your take too. It's okay to have different philosophies. Holmes cost himself a ton of money. Nobody more than Gleyber Torres. He probably cost himself, I'd say, $100 million. That sucks. That sucks for him. It really does. But that to me is one of the biggest accountabilities. Let's say you're going to do your thing. I'm gonna start you because I have to, because the backups aren't good enough, and if we want to win, I need to play you. But you're going to hurt yourself in your own pockets. We drafted a ton of pitching, but it's going to take him a few years to get up here. Yeah, I think 14 out of our 20 picks were pitchers, if I remember correctly. Okay, Boney, I would be going after Tanner Scott if I were them, and I would also try to trade for Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. I try to do both. I try to get both of them here. Get two power lefties, so put just two power arms in the bullpen. Actually, I think Helsley might be a righty. Actually, um, he is the number one rated shorts, the second baseman. You're right, Ken, but I can't see him getting any more than I'd say about 75 or 80, which is still a boatload of money. But had he had a good year, he would have probably been closer to Marcus Simeon, who was about 175 million. That's what I mean when I say he cost himself about $100 million. You know, he's an elite defender too, Judge. You're right about that too, Buckeye. You are right about that. Yeah, Baltimore's not far away. Neither is Kansas City. Neither is Detroit. You know, yeah, we'll see after this year. Who leaves, who comes back, and how they replace some of the guys. It's going to be a very busy offseason. Yep. So yeah, I would call Santa now and write our Christmas lists. Damn right on you. Yeah. But with that, gang, let me let you go. I didn't realize how late it was. Jesus. We're down 0-3. Sucks. Tomorrow's another day. Appreciate you all. Yeah, Teoscar's a free agent this free agency too. This offseason, Mark. Betts is obviously not, but um and they still haven't told us who you can replace him, who's the new manager, Mark. Still haven't told us. Nothing. Nothing. All right. Well, have a great night, everybody. Peace and love to all these. I appreciate it. I appreciate. Okay. Keep pushing it and get your ideas ready for the new manager. Bring it to the live stream tomorrow night. We could talk about it. I'm going to give you the 24 hours to come up with to do your homework. Do your homework. It's a voluntary homework assignment, but feel free to do it. Okay. And we'll have to talk about it with you tomorrow night. So get your homework done. Have a great night. Over and out.